Hi everyone, my name is Wayne Pollock. I am an attorney who helps other attorneys engage the audiences that are vital to their firm's success, including clients, referral sources, employees, and the media. In this video, thought leadership as a referral marketing tool. Most attorneys are familiar with thought leadership. It's a classic marketing technique that attorneys have been using for decades. If I am going to write or speak on an area of the law that I practice or on issues related to that area of the law, I can convey thought leadership. I can convey mastery and expertise on those issues. And by doing so, I'm hoping that would-be clients will either find that information or consume it when it's given to them and come to the realization that I am the person that they should contact because I am talking about that issue that they're dealing with. And who else is better than someone who is writing exactly about that issue and conveys that they know what the ins and outs are of that issue. But when it comes to thought leadership, attorneys often focus on clients. And obviously, that's a key part of thought leadership and a key part of the legal marketing pipeline. But attorneys often ignore referral sources. And I'm here to tell you that using thought leadership to engage referral sources is not only highly effective, it's underutilized. When you want to develop a thought leadership program geared toward referral sources, there's really only two steps. The first step, well, there's two steps in planning it. Obviously, a third step would be actually writing or speaking on the content. But in terms of hashing out your strategy, there's really only two steps. The first thing you want to do is figure out who are the practice groups and the areas of law that are complementary to your practice groups. So for example, if you have a civil rights practice, then clearly criminal law would be complementary because typically it's going to be criminal defendants who have civil rights claims or have at least possible claims. You see this also where you might have personal injury and immigration, where you've got immigration issues that may arise when you've got certain kinds of workers at job sites, and vice versa. You might have personal injury issues from immigrants, and there's a natural connect there that is often overlooked. So once you've identified the audiences, the areas of law that you think might be complementary among referral sources, and you want to develop relationships with referral sources in those areas of law, the next step is to identify the overlap between your practice and their practice and those other areas of law. I hinted at this just now, but what are issues that you think your practice can speak to that are often seen in the other practices that you've just identified? Again, a great example would be civil rights and criminal defense, and how can you write an article about civil rights law that shows criminal defense attorneys that you know what you're talking about, but is also relevant to those criminal defense attorneys because it gives those criminal defense attorneys something to look at or something to think about in connection with whether their clients have possible civil rights claims. And of course, because you're the attorney writing on the topic, you are likely to be the person to get that phone call or that email from that criminal defense attorney if they've seen your content. So you have to identify the complementary practice groups or complementary areas of law that you think would mesh well with your area of law. And you also need to identify the areas of overlap and write about that overlap, speak about that overlap as a way to show would-be referral sources that you understand the intersection between your area of law, your practice, and their practice. What's really nice about this kind of strategic thought leadership program for referral sources is that when you actually start grabbing coffee or grabbing a drink with these would-be referral sources, you have a piece of content that you can give to them that just reinforces that you're the person that they should be referring cases to. So those referral sources might find your information in the form of a blog post or an article for your legal industry newspaper or website or other publication, but that's one way they could find it. But if they're actually meeting with you, you could email them this content and say, oh, by the way, we touched on this issue during our coffee, during our drinks, and here's an article I wrote about it. I think it's really helpful. Strategically identifying would-be referral sources and using thought leadership to connect with those referral sources can pay dividends for your legal practice. As I said, thought leadership is a great tool and a fundamental tool that all attorneys need to have on their tool belts when they engage clients. But using thought leadership to engage and create referral relationships is something that most attorneys aren't doing and has the potential for growth based on the number of referral sources that you might want to cultivate and the number of referral sources who are always looking for that go-to attorney to refer cases to. Good luck with your thought leadership strategy for referral sources.